Hey everybody, Joe, Passion Unchained here. I'm super excited for this. As you can see, my background is completely new. I just moved into my new place. I love it. It feels so homey. I have been finding procedures to get this content done. I've promised you a bunch of content and I am excited to catch up on it. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for sticking with me as I figure out how to run this business and complete a lot of content for you guys, give you guys a lot of value, a lot of excitement and information. So thank you so much. I especially thank you, this guy who I'm going to do a Tinder roast of. Let's call him Klaus. His name is not Klaus, but we're going to call him Klaus. Thank you so much. You've been very, very patient. Back in, I believe, August, Klaus reached out to me and asked me to do a Tinder roast. And I had, at the time, thought I would be able to do it in a couple weeks, but it's been a couple months, and so I'm very grateful for your patience. I know that it's been a long time, and you really wanted this quickly, so I'm getting better at getting these things done a lot quicker. So if you want to do your own Tinder roast, reach out to the email in the description below. I will give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is actually something I've started to offer on its own for $200, but if you want it for free and you're cool with me publishing it for everyone to see on YouTube, I will not use your name, as you can see, because his name is not Klaus, but we're gonna, just so we can call him something, we're calling him that. Hit me up. You'll get it for free in a video format like this. So hit me up. I'm excited to share with you these things. This kind of content is fun for me to make, and I've also got a lot of feedback from subscribers like you that this is a fun way for you to get a lot of value out of it as well. So like the other ones I've done, which I'm going to have in a playlist in the link in the description below if you want to see all the other Tinder roasts I've done, I'm going to go over the photos one by one, just describe them without saying any judgments. This is actually the first time I'm looking at these photos in detail. I glanced through them earlier, but I didn't really look in detail at them. So you're going to get my genuine first reactions, and then once I describe all the photos and his profile, then I'm going to go back through and say what I like and or don't like about them, and then give suggestions for this guy, for Klaus, to use in his profile, to change, what photos to get, what photos to delete. And from all that, you guys can look at your own profiles and create a lot of similarities and be like, well, that's probably good information for me as well, or that's probably good information for me as well. You can take this and apply it to your own profile. And then, of course, if you want me to just fix your profile up for you, you can hit me up as well. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later. For now, let's get started. First, I'm going to look at his bio. His bio is in German, and it says, Ich genieße das Leben. In Zukunft am liebsten zu zweit. Halb Adventurer Couch Potato. And then it says, No Brefenschaft. I hope I pronounced that right. I've done a little bit of German. I don't know too much, and I actually had to use Google Translate. What that means, I'm going to pop it up on the screen here. It means, I enjoy life, and then there's the emojis. In the future, preferably as a couple. And then the next is half adventurer, couch potato. And it's and the no emoji, no pen pals. So that's his bio. Here is an overview of his photos. As you can see, the order, he gave me 12 photos to review. I'm going to review all 12. In his Tinder profile, he has 7 of them. So that's the first one right here. It's him. There's a cat. There's an adorable young cat. Not quite a kitten. I would say maybe an adolescent. Maybe just starting to mouth off to his parents. Just to the right of him. He's looking at the camera, and behind him are some flowers. The next one is him. He is looking at the camera and smiling, and he has a bell pepper, and he is holding the bell pepper. Looks like he's cutting up some veggies to make foods of some sort. The next one, he is sitting on a log, some sort of nature area. There's a body of water next to him, and he has his guitar. The one after that, He has a big old smile on his face, and he has a presentation behind him that says Körpersprache. Knowing what I know about German, my guess is that means sign language, especially because of the graphic behind it. I might be wrong about that, but he could be giving a presentation on sign language. He's giving a presentation on something. The one after that, he is standing, looking at the camera. Beautiful nature in the background, and it looks like he has some hiking gear on, some serious hiking gear on, not just hobby stuff. Like, he actually does that a lot. And then after that, he is shirtless on his paddleboard. He's got some abs showing. He's got some good musculature. And he is in a nice body of water as well. Also, next one, he is doing some yoga in a park. And that actually might not be yoga. That looks kind of like yoga, but kind of also like stretching, although it could be both, because a lot of yoga poses also stretch a lot. But either way, he's doing some sort of thing on a yoga mat that is either stretching and or yoga in nature. After that, he is holding a kitty on a bench looking at the camera. I'm not sure if it's the same kitty cat or not, but it is adorable, I will say. And there is a building behind him, and there's also some greenery. After that, he is inside on a couch or futon of some sort, maybe a bed, and there is a cool photo of a ship on some rocky waters, not rocky waters, some chaotic waters in a storm, perhaps. He is playing guitar and looking down away from the camera. And then this is another one. It looks like it's in the same place that he had the other guitar photo, with the water in the background, as well as some greenery, and he has some either soda or water in his hand looking at the camera. And then the last one that I have is him walking away from the camera, looking back and smiling. So let's go real quick just to make sure we know which ones he's using on his profile, so I can focus on those. And then also to say the good, the bad, and the ugly about the other ones. He has the one with the cat, the one with him. It looks like he just has the first 7 on his profile, I believe. Let me just make sure about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so the first 7 are on his profile as is, and then 8, 9, 10, and 11 are ones that he does not currently have on his profile, but is considering, depending on what I say and what others may say, that he might be asking other people for advice as well, which is always helpful. I like getting a bunch of different opinions. I have a lot of positives and constructive criticism to say about this profile. There's some good and there's some bad that he can use to improve his profile. So let's go one by one then. The first photo with him and the cat. I love the idea. Having you with some sort of adorable animal is a great way to make girls feel comfortable. I've talked about this a lot. You showing your nurturing side or your soft side to women, as long as you have the masculine strength and the other parts that make you exciting to girls, that can balance you out. Because meeting up, especially if you're looking for something casual, but in any way, meeting up with a girl for romantic or sexual purposes is a very vulnerable thing to her. And if you can show that you have a soft side, that you're not just all masculine energy, it's gonna round out your sharp corners and make her more comfortable to see you. So this idea is great. I like the other one that he did later where he's on the bench rather than this one. And the reason is, this one, the way that it is, it's almost like he saw the cat, and this is because of the way he's squatting and the way he's looking at the camera. It looks very stiff, and it's almost like he saw the cat, squatted down, and like tried to get the perfect pose, but it just looks a little too awkward, if you will. And the reason is because of how he's squatting, where the cat is, and also the background's a little cluttered with how it's positioned. So I would have given him more specific, I would give more specific advice of how to fix that, but he's actually fixed this already in his second cat photo. So I would replace this one with that one, because that one is very, very good. And I'll get back to that one once we go through the photos. But that one solves all the issues I have with this one, where it's, like I said, we'll get back to it, but it's less posed, more candid, more comfortable. This one where he is cooking, he's cutting up some veggies to cook. This is a little bit of a theme. He does a lot of photos where he's doing something and then he looks right at the camera and gives a big smile. I'm not sure if he's working with a photographer or not. These do look like cell phone photos. So if they are cell phone photos, then maybe he is trying. I don't know. He still could be working with a photographer. Some people who are into photography use cell phones for photos, or maybe a friend has a photography hobby, or maybe they have a cheaper camera, or are using settings that don't give a blurred background. My guess is that these are cell phone photos. So what I would say for him here is it looks stiff. So that's a couple of things I see. I'll just restart that. There's a theme I see here. There's a couple of things I see in a lot of his photos, and that is that he is standing, doing something, and then looking at the camera with a big smile. That is a very posed situation. It's one that kind of feels awkward. It kind of feels stiff to me. So my suggestion is to have a more candid feel, and that means in this case, not always looking at the camera and smiling. Maybe in this case, he would be looking down at the thing that he's cutting, or looking across, or like looking past the camera, looking over his shoulder. That would give a more relaxed feeling, almost like he was caught in the moment. I like to call this the paparazzi factor, and it means that you don't want to be aware of the camera. You want to make it at least look like you're not aware of the camera. You want to make it look like somebody just happened to take a really good photo of you doing something. And for that to happen, it takes a lot of practice. You're essentially trying to look like you're not trying. And trust me, I've done some modeling. I've directed over 140 clients to get more matches and more dates on my photo shoots, and it took a long time for me to figure out how to direct people, especially people who aren't experienced in modeling, and it takes a while. I can get somebody to do it the moment that we meet each other, because I've had a lot of experience in saying the right words and doing the right movements to get that out of my clients. But if you don't have an experienced photographer, it's going to take some time, and all that's fine. Just try over and over again, and then ask people, does this look like it was candid? Does this look like it was candid? And then just try to be more relaxed. And like I said, one of the easiest ways to do that is to don't always look at the camera and smile. You can do that a few times. That might be fine for some photos, but most of the time, try to look off the camera and do a different expression, not just one expression, a few different expressions. So that's my main criticism that I see in a lot of his photos, and it also applies to this one. In addition, the background's kind of cluttered the way it is, and the angle is a little bit too steep. I don't really like how cluttered the background makes this photo feel. The next one, it's similar to the first one in that he has a much better photo of him playing guitar. This photo, it has the same issue I have with the first cat photo, in that it does look a little stiff and posed. It might actually be candid, because sometimes when you take a candid photo, it actually looks like it's posed if it's in the wrong moment or the wrong angle. But it's just the placement of his. There's a placement thing here that makes the background kind of cluttered, even though it's beautiful. It's much better than a lot of photos I see there. So I will say this: it's definitely an above average photo. That said, I love how the new one is the better one. So I love how the other guitar photo, just like my issue with the first one, the second guitar photo corrects all of these issues. And I'll explain more when I get there, but this photo, he's playing guitar out in nature, which is great. And I do photos of clients out in nature, which can work for sure. But in this case, because because of the way the nature is, and because he has nice shoes on, he doesn't really have hiking things on, I don't really feel like he's there genuinely. I feel like he's like, what would be a good photo? I'm going to go out in nature and just take my guitar, and that would be a great photo because I like nature and I like my guitar. And like I said, this is an above average photo. So that's more than most guys would do. And I think it's better than most guys' photos of them playing guitar are. But that said, I think because he already has a lot of great outdoor photos, it would be good for him to balance that out with him just doing guitar. And that's the only point of the photo. Because you don't want to try to do 5 things in one photo and end up doing all of them badly. It would be better to have 5 different photos of you doing each of those things great. And then your profile is, you don't want to spread yourself too thin. And then your profile is going to show all those things in a great way instead of just kind of a little bit here and there, kind of muddled together. So it's something you can do, but it's more of an advanced move to try to say 5 things or like 3 things in one photo. So in this case, I would want him to do the other guitar photo that he has later in his profile. This next one, this is one of my favorites. I love it. He is showing that he's a director. He's a leader of some sort. He's giving this class. I think it's sign language. He's giving this class on something, and it shows that he is an expert in something. It shows that he's a leader. It shows that he has some leadership qualities in his life, and that's something extremely attractive to women. Also, his smile is contagious. He's got a great smile, and he's also smiling away from the camera, which makes this look more candid. See, this one, knowing what I know about photography, it's quite possible, and I believe probable, that this is a posed photo, but this is a great example of a successful pose where you're trying not to look like you tried, and he succeeded here. It looks very candid. And I think a lot of people looking at this photo might deduce that this is posed, but it doesn't feel that way, and that's the important part. I've done a lot of professional photos, like I said, over 140 clients in 30 cities, 4 countries, and 2 continents. And I've found that girls are smart, they're not stupid, they know that my clients have had their photos taken professionally, but it doesn't matter because they feel candid. I've gotten actual texts from girls to my customers, to my clients, explaining that, be like, hey, like, I loved your photos. I love that you got them professionally taken. They didn't feel that way, and that's what made me swipe right. I've actually had texts like that from my clients. I'll pop one up here, actually. Names, erased, of course, but I'll pop one up that I got from my client about that. So, this is a great example. I say this is definitely one that he should include in his profile, and he does. So, good job, Klaus. Not Klaus. So this one, there's one problem I have with it, which unfortunately I feel wrecks it for me. But it's a great photo besides that. The background is beautiful. The sun is in the right spot. The waterfall in the background is amazing, and you can tell that he is a hiker. I mean, the stuff that he has on, it's quality gear. So I get the feeling that this is what he does. The issue I have with this is the same issue I have with a lot of his other ones. He's staring straight at the camera, and it also looks a bit stiff. So I do feel like this is one he should keep in, though. And the reason is it shows some great stuff about him. It shows that he likes to go outside, and there's beautiful backgrounds, as well as he likes to hike because of his gear. His gear is quite quality. And if you have all your photos really, 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 really good, it's helpful to have one that's a little bit subpar to make you feel more relatable. So I feel like this would be a good one to have in because it makes him more relatable. It is more posed, but in context of the rest of the photos looking awesome, if he makes the rest of the photos perfect, then this photo would actually be great to have in there because it kind of counterbalances that. You don't want to look too perfect because then you're not relatable, and that's a lot of the issue that I see a lot of other dating profile photographers do. Not all of them, but some of them try to make you look perfect and high status and amazing, and they tend to get that, but then you're unrelatable and girls are less attracted to you because you don't feel real. Like, it's almost like, what's the catch? This guy's like everything. This guy's amazing, and it's like, why? Wait, is there something fake about that? What do you have to say about that? Do you feel like a if a guy looks too perfect, then you're like, what's the catch? Or do you super trust that and really want to see him?
I question what's the catch.
You want to make your photos relatable, and that means showing your flaws sometimes. That means putting a photo or two that's not perfect, but that's still good. All right, this next one I love as well. It's him with his shirt off, having a great physique. He's done a good job on his body. Paddleboarding on a body of water. Looks like a lake somewhere with lush greenery. And everything's amazing about this. Girls want to see you and your body if it's good. I'm not in a place where I want to take photos with my shirt off because, getting in a relationship sometimes you eat a little more. I'm losing it. I'm doing things to lose it. So it's going away. But if you have a six-pack, it's really important to show that because why not? Like, you have it. Don't just put it on the shelf and let it collect dust. You got it probably, at least in part, to attract women. So use it. And do it in this perfect way where it's something where you would naturally have your shirt off and you have a good photo of your physique. It's still a plus to just take a mirror selfie if you have an amazing physique, but it definitely turns off a lot of girls and it can make you look pretty douchey. So to be honest, it will get you more right swipes. That's something that a lot of people won't tell you. But to maximize your profile, do something like this where he's doing something that naturally means he'll have his shirt off and he's showing it off without showing it off directly. So love this photo. Keep it in 100%. You've earned it. This other one, so he is stretching or doing yoga with beautiful stuff in the background. I feel like this is a duplicate photo. He doesn't have yoga or stretching in the other photos, but he has him doing athletic things in nature. He has him doing athletic things, and he has him doing in nature. So he already shows that part of himself, and this photo I don't like that much. I don't like side profiles. It's not very flattering. It also doesn't feel that candid. It feels more posed when you have a side profile. I'm not sure exactly why that is, because even if they have a good stance, even if you're posing well, just the side profile usually doesn't look that good. And the way that the lighting is not great on this photo. And it really doesn't show anything the other photos don't. So I would take this photo off. I feel like it only takes away from his profile. So this one, so now that's the first 7 that he has on his profile currently. These last 4 he does not have on his profile, and I'm going to share what I like or don't like about them and whether he should put them on his profile. Like I said, this one, I love this photo. This is the one with him cradling the kitty cat. He's on a bench. It's a cool looking building behind him, and there's some greenery around, and it remedies everything I don't like about the first photo. He has a great smile, but it looks a lot more candid, and the reason, I'm going to try to explain it. The reason is it just looks like he's looking at the camera and he's not trying to pose. He's just kind of being in the moment. Like his friend is like, oh, that's adorable. Let me take a photo. Rather than like, hey, look this. Like, let me look perfect for the camera. He's actually being genuine, and his friend just popped up a phone and wanted to take a picture of this adorable moment. That's what it feels like. And also, instead of him just like reaching out and petting the cat that doesn't quite look like it wants to be pet, this one, he's cradling the cat. So it shows his adorable soft side 3,000 times more. Exactly 3,000 times more. No more, no less. It's a scientific measurement that I took. So by asking this girl over here. 3,000, right?
3,000 what?
3,000 times better than the other one.
Yes.
Yeah, so she said yes. So, yes, this one, very much support it, and yes, do that, please. This next one, I also alluded to this. The other guitar photo, he popped on a log and just had his guitar in nature. This one with the angle and the way that it is, first of all, I feel like I'm in his house with him, which makes me feel like I get a window into his world. I know what his house is like. He has this interesting ship on the wall. It might even be his friend's house. I don't know if it's his house, but he's on some sort of couch or futon or bed, and he has this really cool ship on the wall, and the angle that it is, and the fact that he's not looking directly at the camera, he's looking off, and the way that he has his hands positioned, it really makes it feel like he's hanging out. It actually makes me feel like he's hanging out with like a girl, and the girl's like, oh, that's really cool, let me take a photo of that. He might just be hanging out with his friend, but just I love the feeling of this photo. It feels really intimate. It feels like I'm there with him, and so I like this idea. And if a girl's going to see that, I guarantee you she's going to react much better to this one than the other one, which is above average, but this one is way above average. So very much suggest replacing that one with this one. This next one, I like it, but I don't love it. The background's cool. He has water, but he doesn't have any hiking gear on, so I don't really know too much. I just feel like, oh, maybe he goes and does some walks sometimes in nature. But this one is, I would say, a less great version of the one where he's hiking and looking at the camera, with the waterfall in the background. I It shows the same things, but a little less. So the one with him and the waterfall in the background and him looking at the camera, even though it's a little stiff, a little posed, and I talked about those, and this one's a little more relaxed and candid, it doesn't show as much. The background's not as beautiful, and he doesn't have any hiking gear on, so it doesn't really show anything else. I've alluded. I have one more photo to show with you, but real quick, I've alluded to this criticism a lot in this Tinder roast, where I'm like, oh, it doesn't show that much. It doesn't show anything new. It doesn't say anything else about this guy, or it doesn't say too much, or it's trying to say this, but it doesn't really hit the mark. And that goes to show how girls. The reason I'm saying that is because girls look at photos and they don't look at them for their how great you look or how great the photo is. That is something that helps a lot, but it's secondary to how does the photo make you feel and what does it say about you. A girl is swiping left or right based on who you are, and she can only figure out who you are by the photos that you have in your profile, and to a much lesser extent the bio. But the photos are something you can't really fake. You can only fake to an extent. I mean, you can fake, but like it usually there's telltales in something that makes it look a little too posed or something. And a photo is a really great way to showcase who you are. And it's really the only way a girl can see who you are. And she's going to be looking at that photo and trying to figure out who you are and decide whether she likes that person or not. And she might not have enough information, and that this is one of those photos where a girl would look at it and she'll be trying to figure out what it is about him that she likes or doesn't like, and there's not going to be too many things she can deduce from you. The more she can deduce from you, the more she can tell about who you are from the photo, the more positive a response it will have for the right girl, and she'll swipe right. And this photo just doesn't hit the mark. But the other one that I talked about with him hiking, I like that one a lot. And then also to clarify, it's while it is most important what the photo says about you, having it look good and having the photo be good quality is, like I said, secondary, but helps a lot. A higher quality photo that makes you look good only adds to it. But the most important thing is, what does this photo say about you? And this last one, going off of what I just said about what does this photo say about you, it says nothing except for that he has good fashion. So that's the plus about this photo. He has good fashion, but it doesn't really say much about him, and I don't really like it that much because it looks a little posed with how he's looking at the camera. It doesn't look like what somebody would naturally do, and it doesn't really say anything about him that the other photos don't, except for that he has good fashion. So I hope this helped you out. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I help guys get girls by taking kick-ass dating profile photos. So if you want me to help you out, I've gone to Europe, I've done clients in Europe, I work with clients around the US, and I will help you out. So click the link in the description below if you want that. Also, if you want another Tinder roast of you for free, then hit me up as well. The email in the description below, all the photos that you have on your Tinder profile, as well as a screenshot of your bio and a screenshot of the grid that shows all of your photos so I can see what order they're in, and I will do one of these for you. So I will see you guys next time, and make sure to unchain your passion and build a life you love. Cheers.